Hi guys, today's episode is about how to improve self-esteem and confidence as a dyslexic. Now I do feel so many of us have low confidence, have low self-esteem, and it's holding us back in a lot of areas. If we could just believe in ourselves, if we have the confidence to do the hard things, our quality of life will be so much improved. So I feel this will be very, very valuable to watch and to listen to. So anyway, guys, like I said, it's very valuable. Please share this to people that people would find the value in. Anyway, take care, guys. Enjoy today's episode. So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be? Or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast. Hello guys, I hope we're doing good and alright. I'm excited to have a chat with you today. I'm excited to really talk to you about how to develop self-esteem and confidence as a dyslexic person. And I really want to today go through that because I do really feel one of the things that people with dyslexia are facing that every day, and it feels like it really holds them back, is not having the confidence to do what they want and not having the self-esteem to be able to believe in themselves enough to achieve certain things. And I really feel these things hold us back, and it's oftentimes like a losing battle. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, and I feel bad doing that, so I won't do this. And then next thing you know, the more actions you stop taking, the more you get down in a downward spiral. And of course, it may be because things happened to you in the past, maybe because you struggle in certain things, maybe because you're scared of what people would think of you, maybe because it's your pride about being independent, or all these different things that people have had so much in the past. But I think really feel it would be valuable today to walk through that, sort of kind of like how it would be good to build self-esteem up. Now, I first want to come from, because I remember with myself dealing with my own self-esteem problems, and the biggest ones really felt was because I was basically in my education, I was kind of like cuddled into believing this. Believing I was quote unquote normal in a certain sense, because I went to a dyslexic school. I was in a non-dyslexic school. I was found out really bad then, and then I moved into a dyslexic school through like a process. And when I was in the dyslexic school, I was extremely shy, because I was extremely shy in my mainstream school, because I realised I was so different than everyone else. It took me, in my dyslexic school, it took me a year and a half to talk to people, because I remember my best friend was a ball, and my favourite game was a game called wall ball, because every lunchtime, every play, I would kick a ball against the wall and play a game called wall ball. And I'd come back, kick it again. Because I was so shy. I was so nervous to go to speak to people, to go and start conversations. People couldn't understand me, and all these other things I was having in my head, and things I told myself. And I was on there for my whole 8 years, from year 3 all the way to year 11. And I remember when I left that school, here's when for me, my confidence started to get really downhill, because I thought I was ready for the world. I thought I was excited. I wanted to meet the world head on. And as soon as I met the world, I realised I wasn't capable at all. People were I went to a big sixth form, moved from a school with 50 kids to a school with over 1,000 kids in it. And I realised I didn't have a clue what was going on in lessons. I realised shortly that, hold on, I don't remember anyone's name. And of course they remember everyone's name. I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel nervous. I feel awkward. I feel these sort of things. And then people started noticing, because here's the interesting thing, and I guarantee people can relate to this. You have to learn how to be sociable. For example, if you never got brought up into the mainstream environment, if you were in private school your whole life, or if you never went to school, and then you got moved into this big school, with school dynamics, with classes, with people, with this, with that, it's very hard to fit in. But compare that to if you know what school's like, moving into like another school is a lot more easier to fit in. Now, why? Why is that? Because the dynamics and the understandings of, okay, this, how social works, we don't know it intellectually, but we kind of know it, you know what I mean, instinctively, as it were, because we've been conditioned to it, but how that the different cliques and then talking to different people and how it all molds all together and how things are judged and the hierarchy and everything. And I didn't really understand that because I never was exposed to that. And I still today, if there's a conversation with like 3 or more people that I'm not really close to, it's hard for me to really be fully engaged in that conversation, because oftentimes I'm thinking about one person says and it goes over my ear and I think about it, and then the conversation goes somewhere else. Laughing like this, doing that. It's really hard for me to really be a part of that. And that's just how my brain works. And anyway, I started massively losing confidence, up to the point where when people used to look in my general direction, I used to get really bad butterflies in my stomach. I remember coming home, from the bus, coming on the bus from school. I remember my face used to actually hurt. The muscles in my face used to actually hurt because I never ever spoke to anyone. I never smiled all day, and and sometimes I'd get home and my mum wouldn't be home. I'd get so angry and I'd get upset with myself and just like sort of like in self pity, as it were. And then I was like, okay. One day I was crying and I was sort of in. I remember I was in my living room on like this red chair. I was crying. No one was home because I didn't. I was like, is this it? Because I felt that I had the best help and support, and yet is this the best I can be? And I got angry. I punched the chair. I was like, I have to do something about it. And I had such low self-esteem that I did not believe myself at all, and obviously I didn't have any confidence. And so basically I took myself from that point and I started watching confidence video on YouTube, and I went through that whole journey there. But basically took myself to that point within a couple months of watching, I was watching a couple confidence videos, tried some things, not a lot of stuff worked and all this kind of stuff. And then I watched a video with this guy standing there, this big guy, big broad shoulders, croaky voice, but he said something that changed my life forever. He said the only way to change your life is to take responsibility of your life. And listen, I've told this story so many times, I can go back to that moment, I can visualize it. It was a Wednesday, it was a stormy night. I was watching it, in my bed, tired, about to go to sleep. And as soon as I heard him say those words, it was like a light bulb that went off in my mind. I was like, oh my God. Ultimately, I got myself here. Yes, of course I had circumstances, but I've done certain actions to get myself here. And ultimately, to get to where I want to go, I have to take different actions, and it is only me that can get there. No one else can help me get there. No more help, no more support, no more asking people for advice. I have to do different things to get a different result. And I kind of knew that. I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And I was like, I can do that. Because the reason why people are different in terms of why this person is confident, why this person does this, why this person does that, everyone's capable of it. It's the actions they put forth to do those things. You understand things, understand where you are, understand the actions you are having, understand the weaknesses kind of of what you have and how to correct those weaknesses. And that's what I started doing. I started correcting my weaknesses. I believed I was lazy. I believed I had low confidence. I believed I couldn't do things. So, you know what? I started saying to myself, I can do it. I started saying to myself over and over again, I'm the most confident person in school. I'm the most confident person in school. So doing all these crazy, crazy things to take new action, to do things. I remember one thing I'm going to tell you, such a big key. But basically, this guy said, look, it's all about confidence. Look, he's helped loads of people to be confident. But one of the biggest steps you can take, push yourself. Push yourself. Do something he said this thing. Do something that scares you every single day and you'll get confident in no time. Do something that scares you every single day. Because there's a lot of, I haven't personally done this, but there's loads of things with confidence where people would go into Costa and you lay down on the floor, or go into Costa and ask for Costa, whatever coffee shop, and ask for a free drink. These things are hard to do. Why? Because it's not the norm. You're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Socially uncomfortable, but actually, look, you're still alive, nothing's bad happened to you. But when you're thinking about doing it, for example, when you want to ask someone something, when you want to talk to that person, when you want to say something, they might think you're weird, they might think you're stupid, it might be a strange thing, but yet you're so terrified to do it. Why are you terrified? Are you terrified for your health? Are you terrified because it feels like there's feeling in our body? It feels so hard to do that thing. And it feels like impossible. We feel trapped. But if we did that thing, would we, would we be humiliated by everyone all the time? Would we, get injured? Would we get hurt? Would we fall down? Would we be bruised? Would we, die in any sense? No. We'd still be alive. We'd still be there. Nothing bad is actually going to happen to us. The only bad thing we think happening to us is in other people's heads. And that ain't for us to deal with. That's them. And I remember the big thing I'd done, like I used to travel up to London to go boxing. And I remember in the train stations, big like Victoria's train station in London, big, busy, all the person business, whatever, busy. I would say hi to to say hi to like 20 random people walking past. And it doesn't matter if they say hi back, you say hi and you carry on walking. That was so scary the first day. Second day, still very scary. Third day, a little easier. Fourth day, a little easier. Fifth day, I was enjoying it. Because every time I took these actions, I was like, okay, I'm getting a step closer to where I want to be, to where I want to go. And I remember I was doing all these different things, and in less than a month time, I remember going to school and I visualized myself so clearly about how I'd act in the mornings. And one day I was sort of like making a joke with this girl, and she was like, who are you and what have you done with Theo? Who are you and what have you done with Theo? Because I've changed my whole personality like I was at the school. And people are like, well, you're funny now. How are you funny now? Before you were this quiet, weird kid in the corner. Now you're actually going out there being funny. But the only way I got to do that was by, working a lot of stuff. And it took me a couple months to change how I thought of myself and how other people thought of me. And it was that big change. And doing all these different things leading up to that massively helped me. And like, for example, here's what I want to make so clear to people watching, listening to this, is that confidence and self-esteem is not a curse. Confidence and self-esteem is not something that you're bound by. It's not something that like for example, it comes with dyslexia. It's a territory. I've got dyslexia, therefore I have low self-esteem and low confidence. It's not something that you can't change. Loads of people go around saying, I can't change this, is just who I am. It's my personality. It's my personality to be quiet. It's my personality to be nervous. It's my personality to be worried. Not tell people. And sometimes we have like a story we tell ourselves. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned, is that we have a story we tell ourselves about why we can't have what we want, about who we are. And oftentimes that story keeps us from improving, keeps us from doing that thing. Oh, I'm shy because I'm dyslexia. I have low self-esteem because I can't do a lot. I'm shy because if I try and I fail and people laugh at me. I'm shy because of my schooling. I'm shy because, all these problems. But yet it's just a story. It's not true. It's not true at all. There's a big saying that I've said to myself over and over again. Divorce that story you tell yourself about why you can't have what you want, and marry, it's cheesy, but marry the truth of your unlimited capacity. But anyway, so that's one of the biggest things with improving yourself. It's really realizing, look, the biggest thing by far is taking responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your confidence and take responsibility for your self-esteem. If you've got low self-confidence and low self-esteem, guess what? That's down to you, mate. That's down to you to improve. No one else can do it for you. You have to take the actions necessary to do it. And guess what? It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be fun. The start's not going to be easy, but soon it will get more funner and funner and funner if you take the right actions necessary. It's only up to you. Because you realise this, there's so many people, you do not believe how many people had such cripplingly low confidence and then they became confident. Sometimes from an external force. An external force. Oh, look, I've got a new hairdo. Oh, look, I've got new clothes. Oh, look, I've done this thing. Because from an external. But so often people can do it internally. Like one day you see your Jimmy, shy old Jimmy come back and that, like, oh no, he's here. And he's a different person. He walks different, he talks different. What's up with him? And sometimes we think something extra, like, oh, maybe he's working out. Maybe he's doing these things. Maybe he's doing a new project. But sometimes it's an internal thing. So loads of people think change is always on the outside, isn't it? Change is when you get fit. Change is when you get strong. Change is when you do things like that. Don't get me wrong, that's just so key, critical, is doing those things to increase confidence. But it can be internally. Internal change is just as important as external change. Once you change your beliefs, once you change the things inside your head in moving forward, that's so powerful. And I would argue, like, this is a saying that I live by, like, everything is 80% psychology, mindset, and 20% strategy, actually doing. Because you've got to get the mindset right. Then if you don't have the mindset right, you're not going to do it. So here, guys, I really feel, because you understand that confidence, the importance of this, because, like, what stops people from changing is that they believe changing will be more painful than not changing. They believe staying where they are will be better than changing, because they view their path of changing as so painful that they won't do it. And I'm not thinking it intellectually, I'm thinking biologically. You mean, so it basically called in your nervous system. That because that's why we do things, because we feel it's more painful in our nervous system to basically not do it, to not make the change, and that's why we stay where we are. So one thing that I've got crystal clear about is realizing where I am, I don't want to be where I am. Where I am sucks. I can't speak to that person. I can't do that. So I got really clear about what I'm missing out on, and that helped me gain the fuel to do the action necessary to be confident. And once I had that fuel, realizing where I am is not good, I want to be somewhere else. And there's so many different ways of doing this. I mean, I've got a lot of people that look in the mirror and be honest with themselves. One thing that I did, so clear, is obviously I had goals or stuff, but I made a little picture about me where I am now. Like, there's such a silly little photo. Not photo, but thinking I made. Me frown, head down, like no one around me, all this. And another picture of me happy, loads of people around me celebrating, all this other stuff. And I looked at the picture and this is where I am now. I don't want to be this, I want to be this. And that picture so helped me. Or you can just write things down. Thinking what you're missing out on, what's painful, what are the consequences for you not changing, and then for you changing. So once you get that leverage, everything else is so much more easier to get what you want. But anyway, guys, I want to make this like a clear, because I could literally talk about this for a very, very long time. But I want to break it down so it's very clear and simple. Firstly, you've got to realize I've got to take responsibility of this. It's my responsibility to change, no one else's. I've got to take the actions necessary. Firstly, that. Secondly, realize it's so painful you living the way you're living, and it's so much more pleasurable to moving to this person you want to become. And realize that, and step number 3 is get crystal clear about who you want to become. Crystal clear on who you want to become. Because if you're not sure about where you're headed, quite hard. You don't know where you're going, and you veer off in different directions. And the biggest thing with this is that you'll make 1 or 2 steps forward. You'll be like, oh, I'm happy where I am, and then you slowly slide back. But if you know where you're going, saying this is who I'm going to be, this is who I am, you start working towards that. You know where you're going. We know if you hit your target or if you haven't. And now, fourthly, do something that scares you. Do something that scares you, because basically we're so scared about people's opinions. We're so scared about this because we might be humiliated, we might be that, we might be this. And all these things are associations made up in our past, made up in our mind. And the fastest and the quickest way to get rid of these associations is what's called exposure therapy. Get into that bloody situation and realize, look, it's not that bad. You can cope, you can live. And the way you do this is you pick one thing that you're scared of, like a little bit scared to do, and then you do that. Do that for a number of days until it's not scary. You pick something else that you're scared to do, and you do that for a number of days if you're not scared. The biggest thing I can recommend is, for example, saying hi to random people. Say hi to 5 random people one day. The next day, say hi to 6 random people. Just say hi and walk on. And that's scary, that's awkward. You think, well, why would I do that? That's weird. I don't look like a weirdo. Well, you worrying about what other people think of you is one of the biggest reasons why you're unconfident. Does that make sense? And I'm just being frank here, because that's kind of what confidence is. And here's a great saying that I like about confidence. Confidence isn't being the loudest, isn't being that. That's not confidence. What confidence is about you being the most certain about your reality. let me describe it to you. For example, you see a confident person walking, doing all that. They're sure about themselves. They're sure about how everything is. They kind of like are happy in their own feet, in their own clothes, because they like their reality around them. But if you're unsure about your reality, for example, you question things. What does this person think of me? I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Then you can be unconfident. And basically think of it like, okay, I've got to be most certain about my own situation. You mean confident is like, I may have made it a bit more complex for you guys, but I hope that makes sense. Sort of like being confident is being certain about your situation, not judging yourself too much, not really like changing yourself for what other people think, and not really think about what other people think all the time. And so really doing that. So that's the 4 really steps I can give to you about improving your confidence. Now, guess where self-esteem, belief in yourself comes from? The biggest thing, so self-esteem is belief in yourself. Do you believe in yourself? The biggest way you improve that is take new actions. You may believe you're not confident, but guess what? If you speak to loads of random people all the time, you're going to become confident because you're doing things you find uncomfortable. And once you are comfortable doing things that you used to find uncomfortable, in the social situations, you can do the things you want to do because it won't become that uncomfortable anymore. And the way you mean then changing your belief is taking new action, saying, oh, I'm actually not this type of person now. I'm this type of person, more confident person, more self-esteem person. Now, I am aware, this is just some confidence. You know what I mean? Like anyone can take this little formula and use it no matter that situation. I am 100% aware about the challenges people with dyslexics have. Why? Because I'm one of them. You mean I'm dealing, I have those challenges every day, but it doesn't cripple me. It doesn't stop me. You mean, if anything, I lean towards them. And of course, you may have days that I forget people's names and they're like, oh, you forget your name and think whatever. And to say that it doesn't affect me in the moment, of course it does. Of course, the things that you are dealing with affect you in the moment. It affects you in that very moment. But if we hold that with us, go home about it, you mean take different actions, stop taking opportunities, stop taking chances because of these things, because of how it makes us feel. That's us. That's us doing it to ourselves. So you've got to realise, guys, this is the formula to improve confidence and self-esteem, and realise the dyslexic kind of things are, in a way, distractions, are things added on top. So don't really worry about those things. Realise, okay, this is who I want to be. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to do it. I really want to change. It's so painful for me staying where I am. Be focused on exactly where you want to be, and then do something that scares you every single day. Regardless of your dyslexic challenges, you'll be able to do things. For example, I'm not saying... No, here's a good thing. For example, if you believe that, okay, I'm an unconfident person and I dread getting up on the board and you mean like for example, teaching something or spelling something, I know what I'll be to be confident. I'm going to be this person that gets on the board and spells every letter correctly. Will that work? No. No, it won't work. And then you'll try your best and people may laugh at you or whatever, and then you would hit on your confidence. Instead, the goal should be this. No, I'm not saying this straight off because it's biggie. Go up on the board, write the wrong, do your best, and then when you get it wrong, if people laugh at you or whatever, you enjoy it. You don't take criticism, you laugh at yourself. You make fun at yourself. And I'm not talking about when everyone's looking at you and then we go and being, oh my God. No, I'm talking about real, and that could be like a goal that you set. Goals that I want to be so confident that I can do this. But like, for example, imagine that you can speak to loads of people. Imagine that you can make fun of yourself. Imagine that you push yourself to all these weird, wacky things. When it comes to the time that you make a spelling mistake on the board and everyone laughs at you, because you got used to being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, you can turn around it saying, well, yeah, I do spell things wrong. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's quite funny the way I spell this wrong. Because I cannot tell you the amount of times I laugh at myself when I'm doing my book. I mean, just typing or whatever, and basically I get speak back to me, or someone else reads it, and there's some words that can sound very, very rude and very, very dirty sometimes, and I fall to the floor laughing because you mean it's a funny little mistake or all these things. And dealing with challenges like, for example, like I work in a class of year 3, I make spelling mistakes, they can spell better than me. I can make fun of that fact. Could I always? No. But I built up my self-esteem. I built up my confidence to deal with that. So that's what we've got to do, guys. We've got to take a process of it. And self-esteem and confidence, challenges with that is one of the biggest disadvantages of dyslexia. Because it's not dyslexia itself, it's what we make it mean to us. It's human, our psychology is our inner world. And once we can really start work on that, once I got improved my confidence, it made me go after my fitness goals. And then, basically, once I improved my confidence, that made me, what I say, go to war with my dyslexia and then improve my reading and writing ability 500% in 1 year with very little help compared to my whole dyslexic school. I could only do that once I improved my confidence. Work on improving your confidence and then everything else will go. Because if we try to improve our English with low confidence, with low self-esteem, which is belief in ourselves, we will not get very far improving our English because we don't believe we can. Remember the confidence to push through it. Anyway, guys, I hope we said the same thing. Like I said, I can talk a lot about this because, yeah. Anyway, guys, take care, farewell, and see you guys later.